you scared?
He's here.
This episode is sponsored by Exquisitely Done. Exquisitely Done is a Yorkshire-based family business. They sell bathing and relaxation products including bath bombs, scented candles, natural body butters and more. Everything is made by hand in their Leeds home. Their products are packed with natural ingredients and they have lots of great vegan options. Find them on Etsy UK, Facebook and Instagram.
Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Women's Rugby League podcast. This episode is a Q&A with myself, Snorlax O'Toole, or Chris O'Toole by my real name. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at WRL Pod, and on Facebook, the Women's Rugby League podcast. Give them a like for all our shows posted on there. So, to kick you off, first question, off of Instagram, where did your hair go? It fell out, I don't even know. Right, second question. Who do you think will be the breakthrough players this season? So I think there'll be a few from a few different teams. This isn't saying that some of these haven't played before, but I think they're going to be big seasons from. So at Wakefield, I'm predicting a good season from Tara Moxon. Just energetic, just a very, very good player, getting better and better. At York, I'm expecting big things from Lauren Hunter because she's just a warrior. She'll battle every single game. At Cass, I'm expecting, given if she's given game time, a bright future and a good season from Lucy Ramby. Seen her play for Yorkshire in the pre-season and she was really, really, really good. I think there'll be a few at Featherstone. I think Chloe Billington, coming over from Wakefield, will really, really up a game. And I think Grace Dyke, completely different player towards the end of last season, just battling for everything. And of course, Brogan Kennedy, just given a bit of confidence, will go miles. At St Helens, I'm expecting Sergeant Roberts to do really, really, really well. So the next question I'm having is, how much do I make from the podcast? And there is a big fat zero. I don't take a penny for doing it. I don't take a penny sponsorship money. I don't think I ever will because I want to keep giving back to the game. Next question, what do you do for work? I'm furloughed at the moment, but I work for a fibrous and GRG company called Rydale Interiors. Luckily enough, I work for a really, really good bloke, so he's really flexible with me. Another silly one here. Who is your favourite Mallet? Timmy or Tommy? Timmy Mallet, I don't even know who Tommy Mallet is. Next question, who do you think will win the Women's Super League? I'm going to say it's going to be between St Helens and Castleford. Castleford were amazing last season, so good to watch. And I think a lot of their players have got better. You got like Lacey Owen, who's just a constant performer, getting better and better and better. But St Helens were good, and they've added really, really good quality to their team for this season. So it's going to be between... I have a feeling whoever finishes top won't win at the grand final, and whoever finishes second will win the grand final. Next question's a two-parter. Who do you think will win League One and who do you think will win the Championship? I have a feeling if League One and Championships played, League One, I have a feeling it'd be Featherstone Lionesses or Hull KR. Don't ask me why. I just have a feeling with them. And the Championship, I've not seen enough of the teams to know really. I'm going to go with Widnes Vikings. I just think that having an artificial pitch could really play into their favour. The next two questions, well, one's not really a question, kind of fall into each other. So the next one I had in was just Les. Every time we ask who people want to hear from, they always ask for the legend himself, Les Blackburn. And then the second one after that was, which team do you support? And the answer is Featherstone Rovers Ladies. Just really, really enjoy watching them play. Next up we have, why does a man host a women's rugby league show? Basically, I set it up. I really love women's rugby league. I really enjoy it, and I wanted to help promote it. I won't run Rugby League Reshared. I was trying to get as much traction through that. I got asked to host a podcast by some of the players off episode 1, and some of the greatest people I've ever met, and I've been doing it since. If any females want to contribute to the show and want to have a segment, more than happy for it to happen. So the next one I have in, do you think women's rugby league could go professional? I think it could, or maybe part-time to begin with, rather than aiming to be fully professional. I believe it possibly will start with, say, like the men's teams have squad builders where people donate a nominal amount, maybe £5, £10 a month, into the women's team, and it gets divided between the players and staff. I think something like that being set up would be the way to go about it. Obviously getting sponsorship money, bigger crowds in. Some teams are really, really pushing it. Some teams are getting massive crowds in, and I believe that's how it'll go. It has to be organic. There's not a lot of money in the game to be taken out as it is, and not a lot to be spread around. So I believe if the women's game's going to go professional, it'll be organically and off its own back, which is probably the way forward for it. Next one, do I have a favourite ground? Yeah, my favourite ground, obviously, Post Office Road at Featherstone, but my favourite ground to watch women's rugby in is the Jungle at Castleford, because the atmosphere is amazing. It doesn't matter if they've got 800 fans or nearly 1,500, it is absolutely bouncing every single time. The atmosphere is fantastic. Next question, do I have a favourite player? Yes, stated many times, Rhiannon Marshall is my favourite player to watch, because she's just mesmerising with what she does. Again, I'm a massive fan of rugby, even though she might not play for the team, but I'm a fan of rugby, and she is absolutely outstanding. Again, there's a lot of players I really, really enjoy watching. So next up I have, how much rugby have I played? Played quite a lot through school. Stopped for a few years when my mum was terminally ill to look after her. Got back into it, went and played for the mighty Woodhouse Warriors in the Pennine League. Then went on to play a bit in the army. Mainly played rugby union and did a heck of a lot more tug of war more than anything when I was there. I left, went back to Woodhouse for a little bit. Wasn't really with it. Last real times I've been playing, we've been playing rugby union at Leeds Hunters. I did sign on to go play for a team last year, but then they pulled out due to low numbers, and I kind of haven't gone back, which is a shame, because I actually really, really enjoy playing. Another question I have here is, do I give anything back to rugby league? Well, yeah, I sponsored a player for this season, Grace Dyke. I don't take any money out of the game, and I never will do. I'm here to give them further rather than anything else. Next question up is, do your kids support the same teams as you? No, my daughter is a Castleford fan, and my son is a Leeds fan. My son lives in Leeds, my daughter lives in Cass. Simple as that for that one.
Bye all!
Second to last question. What do I do with my spare time? I go to the gym. I worked in fitness for 8 years as a fitness coach and PT. Worked for various companies. I still train 4 to 5 times a week, believe it or not. Last question, the controversial one. What do I make of the England selection? It is what it is. There's little to no money in women's rugby, as we know, so it's hard to work. We can't be flying players back and forth for Australia, no matter how good they are. There's just not the money to do that, and it's unfair on the player to be asked to do that. So you've got to put people in and try them out and see where things are going. I back the coaching selection because I think it's fairly good. I would have put 1 or 2 other players in there myself, but it's not for me to say. I'm not a coach. I'm just someone who talks about women's rugby, and that's it. So yeah, fairly good selection. I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased like some of the players who were in there. Some of the players have stepped themselves out at the moment, and that's their prerogative because they're very, very good players, and having time to themselves when they play for free, that is at their discretion, and fair play to them. So I want to say thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all again very soon.